Then all efforts to be made to bring this menace to an end so that our children can have a better future and not an adulthood in banditry, an adulthood in Boko Haram, an adulthood in fraud. I thank you all.
Still at the House of National Assembly, the House of Representatives has directed its Committee on Power to investigate the frequent cases of collapse of the national grid and provide a report within 3 weeks for legislative action. Adopting a motion of urgent public importance, the lawmakers expressed worry over the developments and the attendant effect on the economy. The House stressed that stable power supply is essential for driving economic growth.
The House is regretting that this sad development is coming at a time when the Honorable Minister of Power has given assurances to the nation of a stable power sector during the increase in power tariff.
National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikmen reports that the House passed for second reading a bill seeking an increase on Federation accounts revenue accruing to states to 20% based on derivative principle.
Same. There are a lot of natural resources. And Mr. Speaker, these resources have not been fully tapped for the benefit of the federal government and the state. When this law is passed, Mr. Speaker, it will encourage states to go into the full development of these natural resources to the benefit of the state, having in mind the revenue derivation they will have.
The bill has been referred to the House Committee on Constitutional Review for further legislative action. Now, about 14,000 students have bagged various degrees at the 39th convocation ceremonies of the University of Ilorin, with 256 first class recorded among first degree graduates. President Bola Tinubu, in his message to the convocation, advocated uninterrupted academic calendars across higher institutions of learning in the country to make the nation's education sector more productive. Abdul Hafiz Elias reports is now here to go.
After years of rigorous academic training, these sets of graduates are being awarded various degrees and postgraduate diplomas, having been found worthy in both learning and character. 323 persons also bagged PhDs after years of learning and research. These feats, according to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, can only be meaningful if knowledge acquired are used in solving many challenges facing the country. Represented by Minister of State for Education, President Tinubu lauded the enduring academic excellence of University of Ilorin with a promise to make Nigerian universities more responsive through robust educational policies and constructive engagements.
No one gets anything from the closure of institution of learning. We have grown beyond that, and we should not return to that path. Our university should always be open for continuous quality teaching, research, and community services to flourish.
Combining this math with being an amazing person will make your light to guide the world.
As you step into the wider world today, I urge you to be drivers of positive change.
I want to bridge the gap between mathematics and the application. I want people to see mathematics as an applied subject or applied course, not just theory.
Though it was stressful, but it only shows that hard work pays off.
Of course, exceptional students in various departments and faculties were duly recognized and rewarded.
Let's go back now to developments at the FEC meeting. President Bola Tinubu has approved the immediate implementation of 8 far-reaching actions to reinvigorate the administration's capacity for optimal efficiency, pursuant to his commitment to delivering on his promises to Nigerians. The 8 actions approved by the president include the renaming of the Ministry of Niger Delta Development to the Ministry of Regional Development, To oversee the activities of all regional development commissions, the regional development commissions to be under the supervision of the new ministry are the Niger Delta Development Commission, the Southeast Development Commission, the Northeast Development Commission, and the Northwest Development Commission. The immediate winding up of the Ministry of Sports Development and the transfer of its functions to the National Sports Commission to develop a vibrant sports economy. The merger of the Federal Ministry of Tourism and the Federal Ministry of Arts and Culture to become the Federal Ministry of Arts, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy. Now, ministers are reassigned to new portfolios are as follows. Dr. Yusuf Tanko Sununu, Minister of State Education, now Minister of State Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. Dr. Morufu Olatunji Alausa, Minister of State Health, now Minister of Education. Barrister Bello Mohamed Goronyo, Minister of State Water Resources and Sanitation, now Minister of State Works. Abubakar Momo, Minister of Niger Delta Developments, now Minister of Regional Developments. Uba Megari Amadu, Minister of State Steel Developments, now Minister of State Regional Developments. Dr. Doris Uzokanite, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investments, now Minister of State Finance. Senator John Eno, Minister of Sports Developments, now Minister of State Trade and Investments. Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, Minister of State Police Affairs, now Minister of Women Affairs. Ayodele Olawande, Minister of State for Youth Development, now Minister of Youth Development. Dr. Salako Isiak Adekunle Adeboye, Minister of State Environment, now Minister of State Health. Ministers discharged are Uju Kennedy Ohaneye, Minister of Women Affairs, Lola Adejon, Minister of Tourism, Professor Tahir Maman, SAN, Minister of Education, Abdullahi Mohamed Gwazo, Minister of State Housing and Urban Development, Dr. Jamilu Ibrahim Bio, Minister of Youth Developments, and new ministers appointed, and portfolios are Dr. Nintawe Yulwatada, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction. Muhammadu Megari Dingyadi, Minister of Labour and Employment, Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment. Bianca Odinaka Odumegu Ojukwu, Minister of State Foreign Affairs. Dr. Jumoke Oduole, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment at the Ministry of Trade and Industry and Investment. Idi Mukhtar Meha, Minister of Livestock Development, Federal Ministry of Livestock Development. Yusuf Abdullahi Atta, Minister of State Housing and Urban Developments, Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Developments. Suwaiba Saeed Ahmad, Minister of State Education at the Federal Ministry of Education. This is the News Desk at 6 on NTA News 24. More reports in a moment. Stay with us.
My administration took over leadership of our country 16 months ago at a critical juncture. The economy faced many headwinds and our physical security highly impaired. We found ourselves at a distant crossroad where we must choose between two paths: reform for progress and prosperity, or carry on the business as usual and collapse. We decided to reform our political economy and defense architecture.
Welcome back. Now, imagine a space where Nigeria's artistic treasures converge, where creatives, find inspiration and innovation thrives in Abuja. The National Gallery of Arts is turning this vision into a reality, one brushstroke at a time. In this report, Gufan Shaji Ugwanyi tells us that the National Gallery of Arts is set to transform Nigeria's art landscape, revolutionizing the industry and raking in billions of dollars.
Paintings adorn the walls of this gallery. These masterpieces showcase Nigeria's rich cultural heritage, blending tradition and contemporary styles. But the National Gallery of Art envisions more, transforming these iconic pieces into a billion-dollar industry.
One of the things this thing hopes to achieve is to see how our local artists will see success and see actual value for their talent. And another thing that we have we've gotten approval from the Honorable Minister is to start issuing out art travel permits. Any artwork that is leaving the country should be registered from the National Gallery that this artwork is not from the national collection, this artwork is so and so. So it has some sort of, documentation that will help support you in terms of custom, leaving Nigeria, and also value addition, because when you present an artwork and it has some certificates, you know that there's an authenticity.
Art is not just a reflection of life, it is life itself, pulsating with every stroke, every color, and every emotion. In Abuja, Gufan Shaji Ugwanyi, NTA News.
Bit on security now. The Nigerian Air Force has renewed its memorandum of understanding with the Lagos State University, reaffirming its commitment to advancing Nigeria's aerospace capabilities through strategic partnerships. Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, made this known while receiving the Vice Chancellor of Lagos State University, Professor Ibiyemi Olatunji Bello, at the headquarters of the Nigerian Air Force in Abuja. A statement by the Director, Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Olushola Akinboyewa, says Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar noted that the renewed MOU is a major step in operationalizing the NAF's broader strategic objective of fostering technical collaborations with the academia to enhance indigenous aerospace engineering capacity. Minister of State Petroleum Resources Gas Ekperikpe Ikpo is urging stakeholders in the gas value chain to address the skyrocketing price of liquefied petroleum gas and its attendant hardship on Nigerians. A statement by Louis Iba, spokesperson for the Minister of State Petroleum Resources Gas, says the gas minister issued the short-term and long-term solutions with effect from November 1st, 2024. NNPC Limited and LPG producers are to stop exporting LPG producing in country or import equivalent volumes of LPG exported at cost reflective prices. He urged MND-PRA to engage stakeholders to create a domestic LPG pricing framework within 90 days, indexing price to cost of in-country production rather than the current practice of indexing against external markets. The long-term solution is to ensure facilities are developed within 12 months to blend, store and deliver LPG, ending exports until the market achieves sufficiency and price stability. The private sector and public-spirited individuals in Nigeria will have to complement government efforts by empowering and extending a helping hand to the less privileged in society. This was at a program to share palliatives to the less privileged by Divine Care Conglomerate Foundation, a non-governmental organization in Nigeria. Thomas Ogbetere reports.
Divine Care Conglomerate Foundation, an NGO known for training, feeding, helping and empowering the needy, has again taken its act of charity to another level. The NGO is currently training some women in different skills like tailoring and bag making as part of efforts to make the less privileged woman self-reliant. Some of the beneficiaries, who could not hide their joy, expressed how Divine Care Conglomerate Foundation has been very supportive.
I really appreciate Divine Care Foundation. I really appreciate. Thank you.
I want to appreciate the president, Miss Prosperity Ojesbolo, for giving us this great opportunity. It's a rare one, and we appreciate it. We are not going to take it for granted.
I've tried, and you have done a lot in this hard situation. We appreciate.
And whatever she do in life, I believe that Almighty Allah is happy with her.
I'm so proud to be empowered by this honorable organization. As you can see, I was taught how to map out this trouser from the length to the hips to the waistline.
Do you know what it really means to give us this kind of package in this kind of hard situation? Oh God, Mama, may the Almighty God continue to bless you.
The president of the foundation, Prosperity Ojesbolo, who was represented by the coordinator of Divine Care Conglomerate Foundation, Basira Musa Yunusa, says the mission of the foundation is to empower women and award scholarships to as many as possible, amongst others.
We started this training October 8th, and by the special grace of God, we will be ending the first batch by January, because every session is going to last for 3 months.
While pledging to continue to feed and support the less privileged in the society, the president of the foundation called on beneficiaries to take their skills acquisition program more seriously. In Abuja, Thomas Ogbetere, NTA News.
In continuation of the Afridu Descendants Homecoming, a 2-day Global Economic Africa Investment Summit has commenced in Abuja to showcase African products, goods and services proudly. The summit, which had as its theme operating in integrity, was an opportunity for matchmaking between the Afridu investors and their Nigerian business counterparts, with the expectation that substantial deals will be discussed, with the showcase of proudly African products on display. The African diasporas took a tour of various stands to appreciate homemade goods.
Other businesses, investors.
Areas of interest they have indicated is oil and gas, midstream, downstream, OPL, OML. They are very much interested to invest in the oil and gas sector, and they have a credit line of $2.5 billion.
Most important thing we have to build is trust and relationship. That's the greatest currency we have, is trust and relationship. Once we accomplish that, the investment won't just come from us to you, it'll come from you to us.
We need to focus on agriculture to provide raw materials for our industrialization. So there is a lot that this summit can do for our country, particularly if the focus is on agriculture.
Watching the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24, here is a recap of our top stories. Federal Executive Council approves reshuffle of ministerial cabinets, scraps Ministry of Niger Delta Development and Ministry of Sports Development. National Assembly to investigate recurrent cases of national grid collapse and report within 3 weeks.
This sad development is coming at a time when the Honorable Minister of Power has given assurances to the nation of a stable power sector.
Federal government directs end to export of liquefied petroleum gas, targets reduction in prices.
This is NTA News 24.
Well, that concludes the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adegunloye.